Welcome to WeeChats with Brilliant People, hosted by Dr. Allison Rodius, Professor of Sports Psychology at John F. Kennedy University. In each episode, Allison talks to highly successful people in music, sport, and the boardroom. She digs into the mental training techniques that they use to ride out the waves that challenge them in work and in life. So enjoy these WeeChats with Brilliant People.
All right then, welcome back everybody. We've got the next in the series asking Lesley Paterson all about what it was like after the World Championships. So here's my another WeeChat with brilliant minds, brilliant people. So Lesley, we've gone through all the stuff before the Worlds, what it was like there. I just thought it would be interesting for people to know about what it was like since the Worlds. It's been 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it's been about a month. It's it's interesting. I think you go through many highs and lows because it's like a pinnacle of your career, and yet your career is continuing. So there's a sort of stress of, will I ever reach that peak again? And if I do, what will that feel like? There's a motivation issue. You know, how motivated are you to want to go out and do it again? There's a fear. Can I go out and do it again? So that's all in relation to the sport, but you know, there's just a kind of the ups and downs after you've had like a big sort of occurrence in your life. It was, it was so amazing at the time. It's like you're bound to have a downfall afterwards.
Yeah. So, have you had anything like this in all the the career highs and lows that you've had before? Have you ever had a similar sensation to this? You've had a big event and then you get highs and lows after.
Definitely. Like in my film career, when I've had some film experiences, so I've been on set or filming or acting, and then afterwards it's just been, you just have such elation during the film shoot, and it's this little world that you create, and then afterwards just feeling kind of, just kind of out of it, and you're upset that that it's over, and just down. Yeah.
And how long does the down last for you?
Not long, because there's always people or friends or things, or to bring you back out of it. You go out in another great training session, you remember why you're doing it, and that why you're doing it isn't just the end result. So and something like winning a world title is something that sticks with you or stays with you forever. So it's not like that memory goes away, and that experience goes away. So you can actually use it as a fuel as well. So if you're feeling a bit bummed out, then you remember that moment. You're like, oh, cool. You get back into it. You have a good session.
So do you have any advice for people? Let's take this recent event. You've somebody else who's had a really amazing something in their career. It could be anything, but right now we're talking about sport performance. So if somebody has a great performance, do you have any advice about how they keep going after something like that?
Yeah.
What would be your advice about what to do?
Well, I think a very wise person once told me that you've got to make sure that you celebrate yourself. I wonder who that was. I think that's really important, because it's easy, because I'm very driven, to move on to the next thing. Move on, and not really take it in and embrace it and enjoy it. And sometimes as well, I don't really like the attention of all that, so you kind of gloss over it. You don't want it to be on you, and so you move on too quick. So just, and I think for me it's like the quiet moments where I remember, or I look at pictures and enjoying and embracing that, but having other goals, setting other things ahead for you to look forward to or to work towards, and using it as a platform to build strength, not fear or weakness, I think.
I think that's brilliant advice.
Is it?
Yes.
It's hard to wait. I don't know, because I've not been through that yet. So.
Well, you're living it now.
I'm living it.
I mean, it'd be good to check in with you again in a few months' time, or this time next year.
Yeah.
Check in again and say, well, how is it different? Would you change that advice?
Right.
Because we're all evolving, and I think the interesting thing is one piece of advice doesn't necessarily stick with everybody.
Totally.
But I'm hoping that you've said something that one person will go, oh, that's really interesting. I just didn't even think about it that way. And
Right.
if you can change just a subtle way that people think about anything to do right now, we're talking about performance, anything
Right.
to do with performance, and it helps them either perform better or just think in a more healthy way, then
Right.
we've done something in our little WeeChats.
I guess then it's kind of living in the moment, right? And that's really difficult because we're always looking ahead to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. So it's living in the moment and truly enjoying it, And one of my friends did say to me, remember all of this, remember all of it, and take it in and absorb it. But sometimes that can give you anxiety also because you're like, oh my God, did I remember it enough?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it's just one moment in lots of many wonderful moments in my life.
Yeah.
So while it's a great achievement, it's still just, another thing.
Another one.
Yeah.
And there's going to be many more, no matter what they look like.
know?
I remember people saying that to me actually on my wedding day.
Yeah, totally.
Take in the moment
Yeah.
because you'll forget a lot of it, and it's the same kind of thing. It's that high elation, and then
Totally.
you've got.
We
so
were
many
totally
things
like
there.
that after we got married. We had this weird kind of funkiness just because there's so much built up,
Yeah.
and it's not funkiness about the fact that you're married. At
Yeah.
least I hope it wasn't in his. It's just like it's been such an amazing event with all your family and friends, and then you're like, wah, wah, okay, back to life as normal.
Yeah, it's that anticlimactic feeling that often happens, and it doesn't necessarily mean that there's not anything wrong with your marriage. It just means it's just natural, really.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, but we've got lots of things to look forward to. It's not like, marriage or sports the only thing in our lives. And so I'd say if that would be a piece of advice is be a better rounded person. Have other things in your life that are going on too, so that your life is richer.
Which is interesting because in the very first little WeeChat that we did on this, you said you weren't balanced. So
It depends what you mean by balance.
Exactly.
Like I have a lot of other things in my life.
It comes down to interpretation of what that means.
Right.
So when I said balance, you were like, well, no, I'm not balanced in that way, but maybe you're balanced in other ways, or maybe just balanced is the wrong word.
Yeah, I think so. Balance suggests like a middle ground, or being mediated in everything that you do, that everything is on the middle path. And I work in extremes.
Yeah.
But, just like I work in extremes, I have many other things going on in my life. So the extent to which I have other things is also an extreme. But
really they balance each other out. No, I think I get what you're saying. I think the word balance isn't necessarily the right word, but for want of a better, it's almost like perspective.
Right.
But you do have, maybe a better way of thinking about it is more like a wheel, some sort of wheel that you're going around in this wheel, and you have spokes going off. Ooh, biking analogy.
See?
Like that.
Done.
Brilliant. And you have spokes going off each one, and you go to extremes of each one. You go to the edge of that one, and then you come back, and you come back to your core.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, we're onto something here.
We are. I've got many spokes.
You have many spokes, and you go to you don't go halfway along your spoke.
No.
You're one of those people
I'm
who
in the
wants.
rim.
You want
I like
go,
to rim it. I'm rimming it.
You want to go all the way to the edge of your spoke,
Yeah.
if you like, and I think that, and because you're a well-rounded person, you do have all these interests, but you don't do them half-assed, if you like. You do them. You're not mediocre in anything, really.
No.
So, and that's what makes you so interesting.
Well,
And
thank you.
And that's why you're the first on the list of the brilliant people.
I just
Yay.
want to know who's second on the list.
Oh.
Better not be my hubby. Otherwise it'll be totally bumped out. Like, really? Jeez, who am I first to? My husband?
Oh, classic. Well, thank you very much
Pleasure.
for all your words of wisdom.
Excellent.
I would, if you would agree to this, I would maybe like to check in with you in a year's time, and
Definitely.
let's see how you've changed, and how many other spokes you've gone off
I'll have
on.
to do it next Thanksgiving. What do you think?
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah. All right, then. Say ta-ra to the peeps.
Ta-da!
Ta-ra. Till next time.
You enjoyed these WeeChats. You can follow WeeChats with Brilliant People on Twitter at WeeChats and Facebook, and subscribe to the podcast series on iTunes or any Droid platform. WeeChats with Brilliant People.